Dr. Semaj, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
It's great to have you. So tell me, what got you interested in psychology and what has kept you there?
Huh. Long or the short version.
You can give me the long version.
I started out college in engineering.
Okay, wow, that's a
And
far cry.
the reason because in my time, if you're bright and you do sciences, there are two options for your life: medicine or engineering.
Exactly.
Now, from zoology, I had a problem with dissecting the rats and other such things. Not my fun. So by default, I had engineering. Great. My first job, I got a job as a chemical lab technician because I had O-level chemistry, physics, math, and all of those things. And it demystified the whole concept of, the whole, chemical engineering. I saw it as almost like alchemy. We in the lab, breathing all the fumes, getting the acid burning our clothes and shoes every day, creating money for the people who sit in the office and never come to the lab. So, so that was the first thing that started turning me off. And then now, I remember I went to school at night, worked in the day, and there were a lot of us Hebrew students who were at City College at the time. And one Monday morning, this colleague asked me, guess what I did for the weekend? I said, what? He said he did 300 physics problems and 200 math problems. I said, you gotta be kidding. Now, I was getting good grades, but the idea of spending the weekend with maths and physics, for me, the weekend meant three things. Party, party, and more party. So I said, no, hold on, this it can't, there must be something that I could feel the way he feels about it. So I went to speak to the guidance counselor, and they gave me some tests with some foolish questions. You can't ask big man them foolishness there. And I never went back for the results.
Oh
so
my gosh.
I just said, I'm going to just figure it out on my own. So the next term, I abandoned the engineering curriculum. So I learned about the American system. I just took things that I didn't know what they were. I never heard about it. So I took anthropology, sociology, psychology, and a year of classical music. Just all. And I discovered psychology.
That was
so when I was asked to read 2 pages, I read 20. When I had asked to write 5 pages, I wrote 30.
Wow.
There's this thing that loved me as much as I loved it. So I immediately switched my major to psychology. I eventually got into the honors program, and all the way now, then decided to go to graduate school. And my last day on campus, I went back to the guidance counselor. They said there was some paperwork for me there. And I found an envelope which was addressed to me, the results of the assessment that I never went back for. And it said, based on my profile, I should either be a psychiatrist or a psychologist.
Wow.
So to this day, I use similar kinds of assessment to help people make decisions, even though I didn't
actually do it.
I did it the hard way, the long way, So that's how I came. So I did my undergraduate degree in psychology, honors psychology. I got directly into a PhD program, but you did the masters along the way as part of the process. And then I had a pre-doc fellow in psychology and a postdoc fellowship in psychology. I tell people that a psychiatrist is a poorly trained psychologist because a psychiatrist does medicine and do a year of specialization in psychological issues. No, I did an undergraduate degree in psychology, a master's in psychology, a PhD, a pre-doc fellow. That sounds like a whole heap of
school.
Yeah, whole heap of schooling. So it was a non-stop process, straight from high school all the way through. And then I started teaching at Cornell in psychology.
Wow. So So after graduating, what was the next step? Where did you go after that?
Well, as part of my PhD route, I was a teaching assistant and also worked at Rutgers Med School, in research and so on. So my first major job was an assistant professor at Cornell. So, but my dream was always to come home. My plan was
No
always
place
to
like
come
home.
And in 1981, I became aware of a 1-year temporary appointment at UWI. Now, you want more craziness? I resigned my tenure track position at Cornell to come to Jamaica UWI on a 1-year appointment, which they said they may find a way to. It required an 80% cut in salary. But my commitment, was I wanted to be, the turning point for me with making that decision, the previous year, I won the Distinguished Teacher Award at Cornell. I was voted the best teacher in Cornell.
Wow.
Now, it bothered me. Cornell has 3% black students. If all the black students voted for me, I couldn't win.
Yeah.
So it had to have been, but I made a big impact there. So the average class that had an enrollment of 25, the average attendance was 50. Meaning that people took my class
who weren't even supposed to be there,
knowing that they can't get credit for it.
Wow.
I'd pass, when I'm walking on the campus at night, I'd hear my voice. People were taping my lectures and playing it as entertainment in the dorm at night. Because I had a principle, while you're at a university, you're here to learn about the universe. It just happened that we're going to take the route of psychology or child development or whatever to get you to understand the universe. And the first 15 minutes are what's on your mind. And we'll have a general discussion around that. And then we find a way into the topic. So it was exciting times. But I wanted to be in Jamaica. By the time I was at Cornell, I had 2 children, 2 daughters. And I wanted my children to have the same childhood that I had. So I had to come home. So that was just my commitment. I mean, I was called crazy for doing that. How can you leave Cornell to come to UWI?
For a year.
For a 1-year appointment. And by the way, they found a way to renew it for the next year. And then by the 3rd year, they started giving me 3 months appointment.
Oh, jeez.
And then 1 month appointment. So I said, but what if you don't give them another? Well, then we'll give you notice and we'll give you 3 months to leave the premises. Because then I lived on College Common and I resigned.
Fair.
Because my thing is that I rather live with the certainty of nothing than living with uncertainty. I rather be certain that I have nothing than just, no, there are persons in the same department on a similar kinds of contract as me who stayed there all the way through retirement.
Oh.
But interestingly, they could do that. There were 2 female, and so that one of them's husband was the chairman of the department and all of that 2 years. So the other one was a professor in another department. So, but no, I had to make sure that.
Yeah.
So the idea was then I resigned from the university. The idea, I'm going to become a Rhodes Scholar. Now you spell this R-O-A-D. Meaning, I take my knowledge, go road, and sell it. Sell it to people who want to solve problems. So I started doing, I taught 1 course extramural, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. I developed all these courses, and then to move into industry now, I also taught part-time in psychiatry, in social and preventive medicine, and because there was no psychology department at UB at that time.
Really?
No, there wasn't. In fact, one thing I was asked was to draft what one would look like, and so it took me a long time to. So I taught psychological issues all over the campus as part of my part-time basis,
Wow.
And my first industry call was from a bauxite company trying to hire a senior financial analyst and so on. And they were down to 2 people. A woman in her 30s, very sharp, and a man in his 50s, very sharp. But they could, and I did a analysis, and I found the difference between them. The woman was looking for a place to make her name. The man was looking for a place to get a pension. No, that don't show up on the resume, on the interview.
Right.
No?
Right.
So, and voila, it worked. Wow. I got a call from Jerry and nephew. They had a problem in the market that was failing, both cure. And one of my graduate students said, but Dr. Semaj can figure that out for you why it's failing. And I did the analytics of it and showed them exactly why the marketing program was working against what the project was. And voila, the product took off. So I said, well, if you're so bright, why don't you tell us then why is Red Label wine our best selling thing? I did my analytics and I did the spreadsheets and to show how exactly. So that was what now got me into selling psychology to the for the external customer. So that's from a marketing advertising standpoint, and also from the internal customer for hiring the right person for the job and so on. So that's it.
So how did someone even know to come to you to ask, hey, I need to make a decision between these two candidates?
No,
how did you get your name out there?
The conversation came up, and somebody who was one of my graduate students heard the discussion, and they said, but Dr. Semaj can answer that question. So, same thing with the Ray nephew. Somebody who had heard, was in one of my classes, had heard the discussions and my analysis of it. Dr. Semaj can answer that question. So that's how, to a large extent, I remember some time ago somebody came to me as part of their MBA. They looked at my business model and, my business model is that the phone rings. And then I decided whether I say yes or no. Because I've never actually actively, the traditional way of doing business. You're supposed to have your business plan and do this, and then you go borrow money and you start this. And no, we didn't do anything like that. So I am inspired a lot by a line from Jay-Z. I'm a business man, not a businessman. My favorite Jay-Z line. So that's my thing, not of psychology, then take it to the streets.
This episode is brought to you by iPrint Jamaica, the team behind the digital billboards you just can't miss. Built on trust, powered by innovation. Want to launch something bold? Hit the link in our description and let them bring your campaign to life. The Koined Insights podcast is produced by Koined Digital, our in-house team of creatives, strategists, and storytellers. We don't just create content, we build brand ecosystems, podcasts, and campaigns that drive real engagement. If you want to produce something like this, or better, tap the link in the description to book a discovery call, and let's build something together. A quick shout out to our podcast sponsor, Rock Hotel Kingston, where creators and professionals meet style, comfort, and city views that keep the ideas flowing. If you're planning your next shoot, event, or just want a place to feel inspired, Rock is it. Book your next reservation online. Take a second to subscribe and share this episode with someone who's ready to level up. It helps more than you know and lets the algorithm know that these conversations matter to you. So what do you think about your approach in teaching would have pretty much just led your students to just be these brand advocates?
I'm good at what I do. In terms of teaching, I can't really pinpoint exactly, but I can say something to somebody and 10 years, 20 years, 30 years later, they remember Dr. Semaj said that. Just my way of expressing things, my way of tying things together that sometimes don't naturally go together to help people understand things in a profound way. So I think to this day, I get those kind of things. I get the feeling everybody in Jamaica at some point has done a course with me. Dr. Semaj, remember me in 1997? I was in this lecture with you, and I was sitting right. So let's call it a gift. Let's call it. All of us have our gifts. So one of mine is to find a way I can explain complex things in a way that anybody can understand it.
That is a gift.
Right. So I do believe that, and it's important. one of the things I've done is over the years I've helped companies with redundancy. You know, helping people to make their transition. They're going to be losing their job, and it's been so beautiful because when you do this kind of thing, something as complex and as painful as redundancy, and to get people to go through it and prepare for it and plan for it. So there was a time in Jamaica when they said that if you see Dr. Semaj where you work twice in a week, organize your business because something's going to happen, you know. And I remember some classic situations, you know, whereby cement company, they were going to have their first big redundancy. And it dawned on them, and they haven't said a thing to the workers. And this was Wednesday. But then they realized that half of the men have firearms. And the other half have friends who have firearms and live in Rockford. So when you tell people this on Friday, how are you going to go home?
Real.
So they called me and said, all right, can you? I said, yeah. I said, all right, I give you two options. You can pay me a flat rate, or I could charge you $100 per laughter. And I'm speaking to them. They laughed, they thought it was a joke, you know. So we just had one session in the cafeteria. They said they were happy they did not go the $100 laugh rate because the amount of laughter they heard coming from the room. How can people be laughing and somebody's telling them they're going to lose
That's
their
my
job?
question.
Right? But that's what. Another case where, and this happened a lot, where as markets change, so people who were producing things in Jamaica, it was now not cost effective to do so. They could do it elsewhere, and when you had these barriers down, so I mean this company was going to terminate about 100 people, and just keep the sales and marketing people, because they could produce it cheaper back in the States and so on. And the chairman was trying to explain it to the staff, and they're getting more and more angry and more and more angry and more and more.
Understandably so.
So I said, could you, because a lot of men don't understand this, that you can't use logic to answer an emotional question. And it happens a lot in relationships. You know? The husband is being logical and telling you, and you're just looking at him. Huh? So I asked him, will you pause, let me take it from here? And I started talking to the staff about what the opportunities is that they now have, what they can do with their life, etc., etc. You could feel the tension just coming down, 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 down. And after about 20 minutes, I reintroduced the chairman and let him explain the logistics and what will happen come next week. He called me the next day and said, here's a bigger problem now. Because they were going to save about 20 jobs, you know, for sales and marketing, that they can't find 20 people who want to stay. Everybody wants to leave. So, you know, it's the kind of thing, I mean, in 1992, Butch Stewart had initiated this problem, how to solve this problem of the dollar declining. And I took it on the radio. And I said to my listeners, Butch Stewart says he wants to bring the dollar back to 25 to 1. Can you imagine? We talked about that now. Dollar had gone from 25 to 29 overnight. And I'm saying that we can beat Butch Stewart at it. We can put in $1 million a week, you know, at 25 to 1. You're marketing it to, and for the productive sector. So the staff, who would do that? I said, which one of you can find $10 US? And I didn't see any hands go up. So, all right, if each of you find $10 US, I mean, and there's 100,000 of you listening to me right now. How much is that? I said, oh. And then we went to Mutual Security Bank and said, we want to start a fund where we will put in $1 million every week, and you can lend it now to the productive sector. The president, head of Mutual Security, said, no, that's madness. People will just take our money at 20, you put in at 25 to 1, they'll come and take it next door, they'll get 29. But somebody believed me. the NCB, Rex James. James is an important name. Rex James said, all right, I'll give you the bank 1 day a week, Wednesday, as you say you want it. And you set the exchange rate. And it was just like now, because we were approaching the Easter weekend. And the conversation, we had the whole week on the program about what we're going to do. Over the Easter weekend, people had US dollars in their pocket and couldn't spend it. People would not take it from them because people are sensing that something's going to happen to the dollar. All banks open on the Tuesday after Easter Monday at 25 to 1, having closed on Holy Thursday at 29. Never happened before in Jamaica. Without
That's
a dollar.
amazing.
Because I explained to people what happens, how is devaluation. You see, when you take your money to the bank and the bank say, we give the best rate. What they're really saying, we devalue the currency the most. And the person who buys your dollar, say we're now at 158 and change, the person who buys your dollar at 158 has to price their goods at replacement value. At least 162. So when you go to buy goods, you're buying goods priced at 162. So and the people understood, and when all the banks opened at 25, Rex James called me and said, we did it. I said, no, we haven't done this yet. Let us teach the people a lesson. Let's show them what their power is. And he said, the only way they will go any lower than that is if I call him on the radio and say it. So when it flops, people will know that I am the idiot. So I said, all right, we're going to go 24.50 tomorrow. I was said on the radio. And NCB got $2.2 million. Most of the banks got nothing. People passed the banks offering 50 cents more to go to the bank. Years later, I found out what Rex James was a trick, because the average that NCB got on a Wednesday was $200,000. But I'm saying that I can get people to bring in $1 million. Yeah, nothing to lose. So you see, again, it's that kind of thing, to explain complex things in ways that people understand. Oh, so when I tell the man I want more for my dollar, it's me saying, man, we get bite when I go to the market now to buy things, you know. So that's basically how I apply psychology and understanding human behavior and solve problems.
So you've helped pretty much shift perception of major brands in Jamaica.
Yes.
And all over. How exactly did psychology play a part?
Because, look, in 2003, the Nobel Prize for Economics went to Leahcim of Princeton, a psychologist. All right?
Really?
So a lot of people don't realize that, look, buying behavior, it's behavior. How people make decisions about value, what's important and what's not important, what is worthwhile and so on. I think economics is too blunt. Just the way that you raise interest rate and people do a lot of irrational things.
Yeah.
I buy it because it's on sale. That's the rationale you gave for it. You buy it because you love it. So it's a whole thing. So the whole notion of cutting through the fog and helping people to understand and to see and to where emotions connect and how you. So that's the kind of thing that I've done over the years.
What, in your experience, what do most companies get wrong about consumer behavior?
One is probably believing that people are rational. That people do rational things, you know.
Wow.
So that's a big mistake. And one of the things that I do a lot, we know about demographics, demographic profile, but one of the things I introduced in my work in Jamaica when I did more of that type of thing was psychographic profile. What is the psychological profile of your consumer? And the first question are, tell me one person you're targeting. Tell me about them. How old are they? What they had for breakfast this morning? What's their entertainment? And they say, in my consumer psychology class, I raised, which I taught, created a class at Extramural Consumer. I said, for example, white rum. Is white rum a man or a woman?
I think it's a man.
Thank you. Is it a young man or an old man?
An old man.
Yes. But now we have some young men drinking white rum and milk and all of that.
Yes, they do. But they got it from an older man.
Exactly. You know.
Yeah.
So from that kind of, so I remember I did a lot of product launches. So when Red Stripe launched Light Beer, I was asked to create the profile and the image, but they wanted to position it. You don't want it to be taken over as a quote unquote homosexual beer or a man who's less of a man, you know. So you have to position it. So that's the kind of stuff. When Malta had failed 5 times before in Jamaica.
Really?
And then I was asked to create a launch for Malta.
I love Malta.
And when I created a launch for Malta, within 3 weeks, Malta was out of stock. It was hell to keep it in stock because it's sell off.
What was the difference?
Again, the first I did Malta, they wanted me to have a big launch of Malta, and they're going to now, have a conference or a workshop to explain how Malta is important, what it can do for you, and the medicinal and the nutritional value and all of that. I said, but what you're going to do? So you're going to do an ad to get people to come. How many people going to come? 200 people? Tell you what, I'll create a radio feature. 15 minutes, a night, and we'll talk about Malta. The first guest I had was a psychiatrist who prescribed Malta to a patient because it's high in vitamin B12 and so on. And, So we introduced Then the second night I had, again, coming up to this time again, Easter people, I saw people, here's something this thing called Malta. I want you to try it to make what you can make with it. And this woman, I remember calling me, she made a thing called Malta Come Cleanse Me.
I'm sorry?
Malta mixed with carrot juice and callaloo juice. All right, so bring some so I can taste it. So she brought it to the studio at night, and then I put on I said, people, I'm going to taste this thing. If I don't come back on the air, please call the police. Then another night I had somebody say, all right, make some bun for Easter coming up and use Malta as opposed to, stout and so on. And the people, and the bun was great. So that we personalize it, just like that. And I keep saying, if I had negotiated a contract with a part ownership of Malta, I wouldn't be talking to you now because I'd be somewhere else, with my...
On an island.
But that's the kind of approach that I, take to these things, that, personalize it, a psychological profile, and present it in. And a number of products, that I, but again, I don't do... Jamaica goes through fads, and you have somebody who is the taste of the month, taste of the, and people move around a lot, so people don't know who was the one that did it.
Yeah. And
in Jamaica, we are willing to big up and pay foreign consultants. So much of the work that I did, the person who brought me into the company to do it, they know who did it, they know I did it, but probably people at the very top don't know. So when that person, I remember hearing a marketing manager from a company with this major thing I done at Jeff conference or one of those, Jeff conference or Hermage conference talking about it, and he was explaining what they did and what they did, and the name Semaj was never ever mentioned. So the Bible talked about it, that prince is without honor.
For sure.
In his own land. So that's the kind of stuff, and because people move around so fast. So when I remember when we transformed Red Stripe completely, when Diageo took over and all of that, and people asking me, I said, but as a psychologist, my main concern is confidentiality. whether I'm dealing with people or products. Can I don't tell people business? So I said, no, you speak to, call Grace Silvera, because she was the communications person, and then she gave a lecture at the Mona School of Business and elsewhere and so on, because she could talk. I don't, I've been asked to write about, I can't, because my thing, the idea of going back to people to get informed consent, to get permission. So can I tell them, can I do that? No, that would be a violation for me. So, but that's been my kind of approach to, in terms of solving problems, using the principles of psychology, human behavior, and the context of the Jamaican culture, to personalize things.
So something that I've been hearing is how you've taken products and infuse them into our culture or our lifestyle. I think when brands do that and they get it right, that contributes, especially in the product-based businesses, that contributes so much to their success.
Absolutely. Again, an example, KFC. KFC.
Very much.
Big. KFC, this is probably late 80s or mid 90s or thereabout, went through a rough period because the dollar was being devalued, and because the KFC, some of the inputs are tied to US and so on and all of that, and the word on this, it was expensive. People are seeing it. So oftentimes the advertising agency who has to come up with the campaign is the one that approached me to ask me, how can we do this? What can? And I remember I started by doing a series of adjective checklists, 28 pair of adjectives, and to ask people who, eat at KFC to rate KFC on all of these adjectives. And the pair expensive was at the top. Affordable was at the bottom. So that was all we had to do. How do you turn around that perspective of a... So we designed the campaign. And the campaigns, we're going to remove price from it completely. And the campaign ran for 3 years around the Caribbean. What was it? A man and a woman had an argument. He went out and they bought a box of chicken. Now, the way I created it shot by shot by shot. And then when he set the table, nice. And then the box of chicken, when she came in through the door, just imagine the camera he has the box behind him, so that the audience is seeing the box of chicken big. All she's seeing is him smiling and table set. And they're back in love. But the owners of KFC said, no, don't like that because you hide the chicken. So I had to shift the bottle. What I did, I put the box of chicken on the side table. So you see her come in, you see him, you see the chicken, and then the camera pull back to a wide shot. And in the wide shot, you see the food there, you see her smiling, and you see the box of chicken.
Lovely.
And then you just pan over to the... they were back in love.
Wow.
No, this that nowadays, KFC is part of lifestyle augmentation.
For sure. It's so heavily ingrained in Jamaican culture.
It is not. Somebody ever check a woman, walk with a piece of jerk chicken. Walk with a burger. Walk with some corn soup.
No.
You walk with a box of KFC.
So true.
So it has actually, it is lifestyle augmentation.
Wow.
And after 3 years, they decided they're getting tired of the ad. They wanted a second follow-up. And the follow-up ad was called the anniversary. It's the man sitting in the KFC and, watching his watch and, see people behind the counter, and time to the clock and it's almost time to close and everybody gone, just them behind the counter and him there. And then you see a wrecker drive by the door with a car. So I want to subliminally create that something,
Happen.
and you see her at the door with grease on her nose.
Oh no.
And he smiles and they come in and they hug over some chicken. Of course, the lady's over the counter.
Oh.
Now, here's the problem now. She had an A-line dress. And after a while, after a couple of years of running that, people are assuming that she's pregnant. So
jeez.
Where's the part
With
3
the
now?
part 3 with the story, we want more. People love.
Yeah, and they read all kind of things into it, So that's the kind of stuff that people. So we dealt with the internal customer, the external customer, hiring the right person. So we did a psychometric testing, and from beginning to end, how you terminate, how you end, how you redundancy, retirement, how you get people to move into those areas comfortable. So that's why my most recent books, one is The Best Is Yet to Come, Psychologist's Guide to Thriving in Retirement. And body moves, the whole thing about health and fitness and for retirement. And so that, again, people call me over the years when there's a problem to solve.
So now I understand that your company, you do most of this through your company now. Would you tell us a bit more about your company? And I also know that you guys have created an online learning platform. What's that about?
Okay. The company, it was called, first of all, Leahcim. When the company was first registered, it was Psychological Services International. Okay? But from a branding standpoint, that's a bad name because it sounds too psychological.
Yes.
People assume you come in there for psychology treatment. No, none of that. But then now, because my name became so known around what I did, we changed the company name to Leahcim Semaj and Company Limited.
Okay.
Which is still the name of the company, Leahcim Semaj and Company Limited. But our main brand initially was the Job Bank. Because everything about hiring and termination and so on, the Job Bank and all the kind of stuff we did, right? And then now, because we became broader than just jobs, the other brand that which we still trade under now is Above or Beyond. The idea is because we deal with transformation. We take you above where you presently are or beyond your wildest imagination.
Ooh.
So, so that's how we approach the whole thing. Anything once somebody needs our services. Now, we do a lot of staff training, staff development, executive coaching. So that's why so many people in so many companies have, so they have done courses with me.
Yeah.
From the entry level people to the senior level we do management retreats because to help company, structure themselves. Like for example, National Health Fund. I was the consultant that handled their first 6 years in terms of their strategic plan.
Wow.
It's an incredible company. And one of the first thing I did was, their first tagline was to ameliorate the cost of healthcare.
Oh, no, sir, that never did go.
I said, look,
Culture.
You can never ameliorate the cost of healthcare. If you want to let people understand that your health is your responsibility. You want people to have less need for medicine, less need for healthcare. So that's again what I bring to the whole process. So over time, now because of all of this training, staff training, it's very hard. You can't really expand on that in terms of how you scale that because it's a personal thing.
Okay.
How many courses can you give in a day, in a week? How many places can you physically be? So that's why now we put together an incredible team, and our CEO, Dr. Sandra Palmer. We be able to put together a whole thing of 139 courses.
Wow. What are some of these courses that you guys offer?
The key thing, we targeted the area of quote unquote soft skills.
Okay.
Because soft skills, which technical are the important skills. Whatever it is you're doing, the communication, the leadership, all of those kinds of things, the sales, those are all soft skill issues. So that's what we packaged, all of that, all of these areas. So that, and the idea now with technology, because we had one of the first websites in Jamaica as a company.
Wow.
Our first website is www.toj/tilde.jobbank. You ask your IT people about that. In Jamaica, you could not get a direct website. You had to go through somebody back door.
Wow.
So TOJ, and then so we have always been technologically driven. So when all our courses can be done on your phone,
That's fantastic.
on your computer.
The world that we live in today.
And these courses take about 2.5 to 3 hours.
So I can just I can just take a day and just run through some courses and just.
Here the great part about that. We sell it as a timeshare kind of thing. We don't sell it per course.
Okay,
so for example, you can get a 30-day subscription, and in that 30-day you can access 25 courses. No, we charge $99 US. No, you understand that kind of pricing?
Yeah.
So if somebody is serious, in a month, they could upgrade their resume significantly, having done 20 courses.
Wow.
And you get a certificate at the end of each course. So, and it's the essence, and it's so well-designed courses in that video, audio, exercises, and each course has 10 components. At the end of a component, you have a quiz, and if you don't pass the quiz, you can't go forward.
Okay.
So it's all designed. I use it now in my own individual consultations when I'm working with a manager or individual. I was working with somebody with supposed to be attention deficit disorder. I said, no, man, there are some behavioral things you need to change. Again, in terms of your attention to detail, your time management skill. So he did the time management course. He did the attention to details course on his phone.
Really?
And so you realize that one of the problem, because you label yourself as an attention deficit disorder.
Or that you have ADHD, you have ADD or ADHD.
Yeah, you keep telling yourself that. Okay. Learn the behaviors to remove that from you. You know? So that's...
So actually getting to the root of the issue, correcting the behavior, as opposed to just self-medicating, for example, or just accepting.
Accepting the label.
Well, I'm always late because I have poor time management.
Exactly. All right.
Okay.
Well, we're going to give you it's a time management course you learn. Or I'm always under stress. There's a stress management course that you can do. And then, so there are different ways. So we augment this now. Say a company wants to do some training. Now, this approach now is a whole other level. As opposed to just do a one-day session for time management. Some people in the course on their phone the whole day. Some people, How about when each 30 people are sent the link to do the course on their own? And then now, next week, we have a 1 hour session or a 2 hour session as a kind of a workshop format where everyone, we know exactly who. Sometimes half of the people don't do it 3 days long. So we call the general manager and say that half the people have not done it. So this way now, you know exactly who do it. And then when you have that 2 hour session now, you can have it as a discussion, an application. So it's a whole other level that we're taking this thing to.
I want to segue a bit. So we briefly just touched on,
Oh, by the way, the name of our platform is Sankur.
Okay.
And there's a reason for that. Sankur was the primary place of learning in Timbuktu, Africa, in the 12th and 13th century.
Okay.
And that's where we have this thing. As far as Timbuktu, that's where the world had to go for the highest level of training.
Wow.
And it's the second coming of Sankur in Jamaica, because I started a Sankur school in 1985 at my home. My children went to Sankur, a personalized education that they had a program. Each child had their own program and so on. So we applied the principle of individual learning way before anyone had started talking about that. right?
Wow.
So now Sankur now, that's what we call the online Sankur Professional Development Institute, or our online platform, is in honor of the University of Sankur of Timbuktu in Mali back in the 13th century. So that's how we tied with our history.
Fun facts. Dr. Leahcim Semaj is giving away access to 25 online courses in leadership, communication, customer service, and so much more through the Sankur Institute's basic plan. It's ideal for anyone looking to grow personally and professionally. To enter, ensure you're subscribed to the Koined Digital Studios on YouTube, follow Koined Insights Pod on Instagram, and comment below. What skill would change your life or business right now? Ensure to use the hashtags Sankur Institute and hashtag Koined Insights. So back to my segue question, I just want to touch on it just briefly. We mentioned briefly about ADHD and ADD. Do you have any concerns about the recent, I guess, uptick in people self-diagnosing themselves from social media, where people would come on and be like, oh, yes, well, if you have this symptom and that symptom, you have ADHD or you have ADD, and these are just common behaviors.
Dangerous.
Dangerous.
This whole thing about, it's not just self-diagnosing, it's labeling.
Okay.
Once a label is attached to you, people started treating you as if you are that. And sometimes you start treating yourself the same way. You start behaving as if you are that. And there's nothing as powerful as, self-fulfilling prophecy. You've heard a situation where parents tell children, you're just like you know good papa. You're just like you know good papa.
Yeah.
You're just like you know good papa. And you become just like you know good papa.
Yeah.
So that about that whole thing of labeling. And I talk to parents about this. I talk to teachers about this. Be careful once you label people. And there are too many times that we label people without a proper diagnosis. And there's some, ADHD is one of those things. And there's so many other areas, where we because there's a behavioral predisposition, and then we attach a diagnosis to it.
Yeah.
Same thing with depression. Depression is there's a way to properly diagnose depression and so on. But because look, you're feeling down.
You're depressed.
Yeah. The depression is a serious disorder. But there are many people that no, you're entitled to feel down. Every day is not great.
You're entitled to feel down, you're entitled to feel anxious. That doesn't mean you have an anxiety disorder.
Exactly. So that's one of my pet peeves, where people use these kinds of things without a proper diagnosis. And even beyond that, as a psychologist who have a very strong spiritual perspective to what I do, there's one thing that I teach is that believe the diagnosis, but not the prognosis. Whatever the diagnosis is, it was arrived at by data and analysis. All right, so you have so and so, whatever it is. We're talking about psychological, we're talking about medical, whatever. But the prognosis is telling you what's going to happen over time, and are you going to get better, are you going to get worse, and so on. That is statistical.
Yeah.
Because some people, look at everything that you take. It will tell you on the back, some people will get this, some people feel
nausea, vomiting,
right? Some people.
Yeah.
So that whatever the condition is, the prognosis, what they're telling you is what's the average prognosis. So you're not the average, you are one. So that it is quite possible that you can beat it. And on top of that, mind controls body. Right? So the whole notion that even medicine, prescribed medicine, if you don't believe in the medicine, oftentimes it impacts the efficacy of the medicine. Oh, this thing can't work, this thing not gonna work. But if you believe and you drink a glass of water,
placebo effect.
And I hate that word, because placebo is real. You take about almost every medicine that is tested, somewhere between 20, sometimes as high as 80% of the person who get the sugar pill show changes. So we don't know why. Because the mind did the job. So as opposed to just dismiss and call it placebo, why don't we find a way now to utilize that mental process as part of our healing and transformation? So I think that could be even part of what I do. That when I talk to people, I help them to change their mindset so they become more receptive and perceptive to new ways of being. Right?
Mindset, as we're talking about mindset is so important. In your experience, what would you say are the most common things that hold people back? They know, okay, I want to get from point A to point B, I want to be successful, I want these things, but I'm here and there's just something. I have a mental block. I'm talented, I work hard, I do all these things, but there's just something that's stopping me. Like, what are the most common things that you think people struggle with?
People, because they accept the belief that they can't do it. They don't really believe they can do it. And they see so many, and that's why it's so important when people don't have examples of people who have done it before. It's kind of hard on your own to just start believing. There's a wonderful quote, is a Henry Ford, that said, whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. So, for example, my mindset, I had no consciousness of myself as being academically gifted when I was in primary school. But I was doing my work. But when when I took the exam, common entrance, I was shocked to see my name at the top of the page with a government scholarship. No, I went to Casey with a government scholarship. No, there were 3 of us that year with government scholarships. So the first thing I told myself was, I can't come less than 3rd. Because if everybody else just barely passed,
Fair.
and I'm one of the 3 with government scholarship. And back then we used to stream, A, B, C, D. So if you're in 1A, it's different from being 1F, right? I came the lowest, 2nd in the A stream all the way through. Because that was my perspective. No, I don't. And that's been my perspective. So you tell, in about 3rd form, somebody showed me how to move the chess pieces. I went to the library that evening, I read 3 chess books and beat him the next day. I was on the chess team the next. Because back then nobody read chess book. What's a chess book?
Yeah.
So it's that kind of mindset. And a lot of it comes from your parents. Parents do a lot to destroy children's mindset. Even I start by naming my children. All the names. The name is the social, psychological equivalent of the push that the mother pushes the child out into the world. So when you name a child, Mandela, my eldest son is Mandela. He was born July 18th. Same day as Nelson Mandela, so we named him Mandela. And I remember the times when he was young and he's doing foolishness, I said, listen, I'm going to change your name. Why, Daddy? I'm going to change it to Boydella. Now, Mandela was in prison for 26 years and Mandela don't bow. Mandela maintained his integrity and so on. You claim, say, you name Mandela too? No, say you're Boydella. Now, my youngest son, Hassani, Kamau, Chinua Semaj. You know what Hassani means? One who brings joy and beauty to a situation.
Wow.
Now, why does that person now is into entertainment and bringing joy and beauty to people's lives? When he was about 8 or 10, he said, Daddy, I want to do a cooking course this summer. And he was the only male did cooking for the summer. He spent a year on campus, living on campus, and he was shocked, Daddy, all these people know for doing is cook, not even curry chicken and stew chicken. So when him start cooking lasagna, and everybody know in a film boat. Huh? Everybody want, but this work out cheaper, I'm showing them that it's more nutritious and so on. So that children become their names. So when you name a child Tekisha and Nyamisha, so that to me is the beginning of the process. And I tell my children that they're kings and they're queens and they're princesses and they're brilliant. You know, parents do a lot to destroy children's. Teachers are just as bad. Teachers are just as bad many times in terms of the discouraging things that they will say. So that's where the mindset comes in. The same thing about sports. How your mindset, you know, how do you feel about, even in almost every sport, the mental imagery and the framing of the activity before you do it and all of that. So mind controls body. And so that mindset is absolutely critical. People who live in certain communities. I grew up my first 12 years below Torrington Bridge. Call it ghetto. For most of the time living in one room. But my mother was brilliant. My mother said, listen, we just live here. We don't belong here. I believed her. We just live here. My mother made it clear to me that anything I want to do, I can achieve. Anything. So that whole notion of the capabilities that I have. So I grew up believing that I have no limitations. So you can engender that into people, believing them that they are not as good as, they are less than, they can't do this and that. It is just as easy to do the opposite.
Yeah.
So in terms of how people are socialized, you know, and that's why we do that, and that's part of what our brand is about. That's what we call above or beyond.
Yeah.
So anything to do with transformation, changes. Our latest, we create as management consultants. It's one thing to do, you know, where persons come to you with a problem and you solve it. But we always have some packaged
Plans.
So that's how we, so for example, with Sankur, and at one time we had something called drive time data tracking, where we would, at the time, we had one all media survey a year. No, it's not even a year, you know. So I started doing a monthly survey of what people were listening on their car radios, because that's the last place, that's the last bastion of radio.
Yeah.
So we could track when online radio became bigger, we could track all of these things. But most media houses didn't subscribe to it because, look, in the whole, a lot of people haven't moved from the day where marketing and advertising in Jamaica initially, you send the video to JBC TV, you send the audio, one copy to RGR and a copy to JBC, and you send the print to Gleaner.
Yeah.
Done.
And that's it. Wow.
No, we have 39 radio stations plus. Huh?
Yeah.
We have all these cable channels, and social media is going to eat.
Media
eating their
has
lunch.
completely transformed.
Absolutely. Less than 25% of people watch news on TV.
True.
Less than 30% of Jamaicans read newspaper. So when I see all this nonsense that people are just putting so much and don't understand the power of social media.
Thank you.
And even much of social media is just used for fun and games and stupidity.
Yeah.
But it can be used as a powerful tool.
thing.
You know, so that's part of what I try to do to help people to cut through the nonsense, to understand how the processes work.
I love how you guys use data to pretty much track trends and even predict trends at times.
Absolutely.
So based on, I don't know what you've been seeing, what do you think are some upcoming trends? What do you think is maybe the next big thing in business? You know, we've gone through BPO, we've gone through real estate.
I'm glad you're there, and I'll show you what we have done. If you take say from the 1980s, you'll see where the big thing was the garment sector. You know, free zone garment sector, that was big. I did a lot of work in that with the garment sector, helping them to transform their processes and so on, and incredible, even went to the downsizing and so on. Then, after the garment sector, you know, then we started to have other things, you know, like, I don't know if you remember, you're probably too young, ICIs, informal commercial importers.
Okay.
These were higglers because Jamaica had a foreign exchange problem, these were higglers who would carry yam and banana and cocoa and white rum to places like St. Martin and so on, and sell it and get foreign exchange and buy things and bring back.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that brilliant?
It is.
Because they couldn't get the foreign exchange.
Yeah.
But they know that the market out there want yam, especially yellow yam, and love white rum. So they created that. And then now we also build up in terms of, so they eventually export agriculture started. Then again, things come from the bottom up. Then with the decline of the public transportation system and the robot taxi, and then a man put a taxi on the road, then a man put a minibus on the road, then him buy an extra one and then brother drive it and so on. So taxi on the road, having a taxi, that became the
new thing.
The new thing. And that morphed now into people now bringing in used cars. That started with just a person going on them computer, and ordering a car and bringing it in, And before you know it, you had a massive used car industry. That is still, it's incredible the amount of used car dealers you can find in some part of the country. All right? So that's how the things, now, then the BPO sector emerged, business process outsourcing, and which was incredible because we speak English. We are a near shore. You have offshore and a near shore in a destination. And so we could do the back office work for a lot of United States.
Yeah.
We could do the call centers, and so BPO and call centers emerged. But I'm probably the only one who has documented that what BPO morphed into. BPO and call center morphed into scamming. When the first time I heard it, I was doing a downsizing for a BPO. And so one day workshop, so we talk about the people. So you go back to school. So we talked about those who went back to school. You want to start up your own business, and, so we're different. There's a group around the back who just a chill and so, no, Doc, we're good, Doc. So I keep a circle back around and go, I said, no way. So eventually I said, look, Doc, them teach we how to make phone call, how we can convince people. So we know how to do that. So we're going to try a thing. Yeah, so scamming evolved, and it's something that morphed out of the BPO call center sector. And people learned the skills and applied it to their own situation. And it has worked tremendously successful, but with some dreadful byproduct, with the violence associated with it and so on. Now, the next trend after that, though, was real estate. Starting about 2010 to now. Everybody you talk to, no matter whether they're a lawyer or they're a bank manager, say, boy, do a little construction, Yeah? My apartment building, I set up, And my wife used to have this expression that as soon as Granny dead, anywhere in Barbican or Kingston, 6 or 8 or 10, what was a one-family house is now a multi-family dwelling, right? So the real estate industry. And it is now one of the main drivers. As you drive around Kingston, you see what's going up. Problematic because Kingston hasn't adjusted its water supply
to fit that,
over the last 30 years. And you can see, I won't even call the name of some of them, the water coming off of these complexes on the road to destroy the roads because we haven't adjusted the drainage and so on. All right, next level, because part of my job is to, I assign myself this now in terms of by the way, we have a product dealing with construction. That's our big product now. Construction consultation to helping people the business processes. Because a lot of people who go into construction, they went it because they have some money and access to a piece of land and know somebody who is a contractor. But as a business model, to how to navigate it. We are mapping out some incredible aspects to help them with that. In fact, my CEO has published a book on the 20 questions that you never really learned in business school, and 20 questions to master for the construction industry. So that's the next big thing for us. Now, where we're going next, and I can always talk about this now in probability. The highest probability, with a 90%, is the whole thing about Jamaica as a destination for health and wellness tourism. Health and wellness tourism. The proximity to the same market that people come here for entertainment and so on. We have a history of our medicinal herbs and our food and so on. At one time, Jamaica was considered a blue zone. We can resurrect that in terms of how, all of that. And it's a natural tie-in because we have the hotel rooms already. And then we can expand this as part of now the community tourism and getting people up into the Blue Mountains and so on, right? So that's one, and that has the highest probability. Next would be export agriculture, but based on high-tech agriculture now. Not just a man with like a 1 acre doing, applying modern principles, hydroponics, greenhouse, you name it. Because first of all, the first part of it will be income, substitution, foreign currency substitution by producing more. For example, goat. About 80% of the goat meat we consume in Jamaica is imported. Now, my son plans to do something about that. All right. But agriculture, in terms of from a modern scientific standpoint, one to meet needs, but also from an export standpoint. We have the sun, we have the soil, we have the climate. All we need is the will to get past that mindset of that agriculture.
Exactly.
If you're going to a farmer like your papa, no, we want some of these bright people now going into agriculture. That's the next one. Then, in conjunction to the first one I mentioned in terms of the health tourism, retirement communities, retirement destination.
That's actually quite brilliant.
Because you can see that tie-in,
Yeah.
because there are people you want to retire in a place. Because first of all, if we get that health care system built,
sure.
because you want to have that in place. But you are an hour and 20 minutes from Florida. So it's not that hard to just jump on a plane because you have a serious emergency and to get back. But to get into that retirement climate. Now, tie that now with the housing and real estate issue, and with the first one about the health tourism, building retirement communities. Building retirement communities is another form of a gated community.
It is.
Right? And you know who one of the first persons that we're going to target for that? Maybe I should just get a big money. We have some big money and do it myself. Just do it and done. Jamaicans want to come home,
They do. They do.
But they want to come here to somewhere safe. And
They do.
So I've seen in my mind the design of the community. Because it's like a series of townhouses. So you have a little space in the back, you can grow some tomatoes, some callaloo and so on. They don't want to come home to no high rise. They want a nice, townhouse kind of concept. Safe, secure, but you have a little place to plant some flowers down the front and some callaloo around the back. Right? So also now, anything to do with reggae music. There's a massive global market for it. And you tie the music with drama and arts and graphics, creating products, especially digital products, for the global market. First of all, there's a significant diaspora market out there. And one of the wonderful things that we haven't taken for granted, the Jamaican accent.
Fair.
But y'all talk nice here. Hey, say it again. Say it again. Let me hear that, man. Right? There's no place like Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean, that any given day we have at least 8 plays going. There's so much theatrical, dramatic, standpoint, that level of creativity, give thanks Edna Manley School, and the talent of the Jamaican people. And you add that now with the digital options. The cost of cameras now, there was a time when everything was prohibitive. What you can do in your bedroom, what you can create, and the number of decent studios now and the digital products that Jamaica will be a powerhouse in terms of that.
Yes.
And then the only other one I'd add to that now is, again, it taps into the retirement and the health and wellness, but the whole thing about health tourism. Health tourism, where persons will, we have some of the finest doctors and nurses around the world.
We do.
But the infrastructure we have to work with, more private sector entities will be set up so persons can come here for treatment. Some of the treatment will be from elsewhere, but set it up here because of the nearshore options and so on, and even in tandem with Cuba and elsewhere and so on. So those are some of the areas that I'm seeing, and some of them a direct expansion of the real estate. Can you see how the real estate and the tourism now tie into the health and wellness and tie into the retirement community, right? So that, listen, man, the future looking good. We are our worst enemy. We just have to deal with the much of the crime and violence is again gang and domestic related, but it is solvable. I've offered up many ideas in terms of treating crime and violence as a disease. Diseases can be cured. It can be done. They're not listening, but I keep speaking. And my blog, I write every day in terms of the Semaj Mind Spa. So hopefully, and I'm just looking at ways and means of getting my ideas more in, so more people can understand and we can solve our problems. There's a wonderful line from the Governor General, you know, and which he got it from, I think, an American president. There's nothing wrong with Jamaica. That's what's right with Jamaica can't solve. Jamaicans go from anywhere they go, they reach the top. Because the capability that they carry with them, and what they want is the opportunity and the option to get it done. And we're going to get it right. I had a T-shirt I designed back in 1992 where I had the Save Dollar campaign. I'm going to revive my T-shirt. It said Jamaica, the next world power. World power is not about the option to destroy, it's the option to create. Jamaica has about 4 music forms that have dominated the rest of the world. How many countries have done that? If you look at all the last 5 Olympics, per capita, based on either GDP or population size, Jamaica won every Olympics. Do you understand the point I'm making?
Yeah.
The number of medals we got per capita or per dollar GDP, nobody comes close. Jamaica. We are a special group of people. When the slave ships landed here, the toughest and the roughest one got off, and they couldn't put them back on the. Who they could put back on went elsewhere. So we are the original bad boy, the man thing, you know, and it's just to transform that.
So, I think what I'm hearing, and something that I think we should just all consider, whether it is just culturally in our businesses, in our personal and professional lives, it sounds like we're just kind of stuck in survival mode. So it's kind of difficult to actually look forward to the future. How do we get out of survival mode? Just even in our personal lives, because it starts with each of us.
Well, we start by doing it. And that's why I think on my social media, you know, I post a scene from my backyard every morning, just watching the sunrise. I posted my breakfast yesterday, fried breadfruit and callaloo from my yard. The amount of people respond to that, you know. People look, oh, it's nice when you can produce your own little breadfruit. Then I posted a dinner yesterday of of Chinese lemon chicken with callaloo and something else. And I added, I buy my chicken and eggs from my neighbor. Not chicken we get off a freezer where wash up on the. So the idea is just inspire people, not by just saying, just by doing. So people see you do things.
Okay.
Right? And that is the way the more the people say, but you know, I can.
Exposure.
Yes.
Coming down to exposure, back to that.
I wrote an article 2 weeks ago about the lessons from the star apple tree. Right? A star apple tree I planted in my yard 10 years ago started bearing. You know, and just hold up. The fact that you can plant a seed. Farmers are people who believe in the future. You plant seeds and wait. Hunter, just come and take. So that we can inspire people. But your best you do it by doing it. You be the positive example. The way you want more good men, more good women, you be a good woman. You be a good man. So
That's
people
true.
see the options and see it is possible. So don't tell me say it can't be done. I'm doing it.
That's good.
I'm turning my yard into there's a whole section. I posted a video of a section of my yard which I'm now converted to an urban farm.
I love it.
The amount of responses it got. It went viral because people want to see those things.
They do.
And I'm the person that I'm going to put in 100 yam hills. Yam can last long, you know, because guess what? When the hurricane come next and blow down your banana and your planting, your yam good. I'm putting in more yam and sweet potato and so on. The idea we've been talking about this for the longest while, eat what you grow and grow what you eat.
Yeah.
And you sell the surplus. So I'm saying that it is possible. It is possible. And part of my mantra I was born August 17th, which is the birthday of Marcus Garvey. I was born the night of a hurricane. And Garvey said, look for me in the whirlwind, I'll be coming back in the whirlwind. And for me, Leahcim Semaj is the one who came with the storm to turn things around. The name I was given at birth was Michael Anthony James. And in about 1972, when I was in engineering, I used to write poetry. Whenever I wrote poetry, I would use the name Leahcim Semaj. So it's the other side of Michael James. But I said, why not be one person? But hold on. I'm not the Michael James. Michael James is somebody who's white, Anglo-Saxon, British. And in fact, the name James means that my great-great-grandfather was on the plantation owned by Mr. James. So I don't want my children to stay on the plantation. My daughter, Isis Naila Semaj, she has a cut on her new album where she talks about how Mr. James called the game. That's why we don't know we name, you know? And so I start by turning me around.
First,
One who came with the storm to turn things around. So I don't join the movement. I just move. I don't ask somebody else to do. I just do. So others can see that it is possible.
As we wrap up, what is one encouragement that you would give to, whether it is a business owner or a young professional, maybe even somebody who is in their 30s and deciding they want to do a career change, whatever it is, someone who is at point A and they want to get to point B, what is an encouragement that you would give them? They're not really seeing how they can possibly do it. What's an encouragement that you would give them?
Very simple. Just look how, without even thinking, we are fully convinced that we will take our next breath. And so far throughout life, we have not been wrong. You breathe in, you breathe out. You went to bed last night with the conviction that the sun will rise tomorrow and you will rise with the sun. And from the day we're born, we've not been wrong. You understand the point I'm making?
Yeah.
We actually have experience. How do you go to sleep? Put yourself in unconsciousness. and you don't know what will happen next. We know. It's the same way you can believe in your path. Accept the same way that your breath came back in when you breathe out. Accept that when you go to sleep, you will wake. Accept that your path will unfold. I can't put it any simpler than that. There's a wonderful quote from Charles Campbell where he says that if you can see a clear path in front of you, it's not yours. Just think about it. Somebody else made that path. Your path isn't clear, but it will unfold as you take your steps.
That's beautiful.
God speaks to all of us in whatever form that but the voice of God is silence. And one of my eldest son keep reminding me of this every time he misses his way. Daddy, remember, you remind me that when God speaks to us, it was a direct call. It wasn't a conference call. So nobody else was on the call.
It's not a group project.
It wasn't a group project. So that conversation that God speaks to you, it was just to you. So if other people can't see your vision, that wasn't intended for them. It wasn't their call. Each of us have our call. Each of us have our calling. It's for us to manifest it. And we can, the same way that we accept that the sun will shine tomorrow. We accept that when I breathe in, I will breathe out. It's as simple as that. That's what I remind people that is that you create all these other things, but the evidence has shown us otherwise. The sun shines tomorrow. I have seen that. I don't know if you have seen otherwise, but for every day from I've been alive, I've seen that. So, sometimes you don't see it. The line from Mars, the sun is shining. I mean, that the sun is out there somewhere having fun. Even if you can't see it, the sun is shining. So I'm good. I know that tomorrow. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much for coming on, Dr. Semaj, and just sharing your wisdom, your expertise, stories that we had no idea. These things that even have to thank you so much. It was a pleasure to have you on the Koined Insights podcast.
My pleasure. I'm sure I had no idea how this would go, and I think it has gone the way it's supposed to go.
I agree.
And we give thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome.
Amen. So let church go. Good.